Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander. I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, we have our co-host, Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yeah, hi.
Great. Always brings the magic. We have my other co-host, Barbara. Now, Barbara, you are a model, but you're an actress. You've been doing some acting. You've been a good friend of ours. You've been helping us out with the show. Now, let's make sure I say it right. Our other guest is a psychic medium and animal communicator, and your name is Mari, right?
Mari, Medium Mari. That's correct.
Medium Mari. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now, here's what we got from you. It says that you work well with animals and clients from all over the globe. You specialized in heartfelt messages from both past loved ones and those living or past animals. So you trained with the top mediums all over the world, including Tony Stockwell, John Holland, James Von Prahl, and Lauren Rainbow. Okay? Now, I told a lot of people about the show today, obviously. So I guess we have to choose somebody to go first. How about Robin? Are you there?
I am.
Okay. Why don't you go first? Because I understand you have some pretty good questions about your dog. Somebody has to go first, so I might as well go ahead and pick someone. Sorry, everyone, but I had to pick someone. Robin, you go right ahead and you start, okay?
All right. Well, Mari, I don't know how it works, and so if you want to just lead me, then I'll follow your lead.
Sure. I'm just scrolling through the pictures. I just wanted to say, Jonathan, thank you for having me on. And, yes, I connect with living and past animals, but I also connect with people, and I also do lost and missing pets as well. So I'm happy to be on your show, and thank you for inviting me.
We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
And so Robin, you wanted me to take a look at your dogs first. Is that correct?
That would be wonderful. I've got Sidepipe and Diesel.
Okay. I'm just scrolling through my messages here. And did you have any? And they're both still living, you said, correct?
They are. They're both still living, and we're going through a big transition right now. And so I just wanted to get your sense of, what you think. And I didn't know how specific I'm supposed to get about questions or how you want me to do a reading. I've never done a pet reading before.
Well, usually, the way I usually work is people send me their pictures ahead of time, so I spend a little bit of time with the picture. Obviously, given the nature of the show, that's not how I'm going to be working tonight. But I can give you just a little bit of information that they tell me. Basically, I tune into their energy. And when I do readings, I don't need to be with the animal. I don't need to be with the person because energy is the same everywhere. So that's why I do many remote readings for people all over the world, and they don't necessarily need to be in front of me. But when I connect to I'm looking at your dog's side pipe right now, and for the audience, some of the people, the callers and producers have sent me pictures, and I usually work off of pictures for animals. I don't know why, I just sort of always have, but it sort of helps me to connect to their energy a little bit better. Also, if you're on a radio show and someone says, oh, I'd like a reading, about Fluffy. I mean, Fluffy could be a boa constrictor or it could be a poodle. So, it helps my human brain stay out of it a little bit. So, so I was like, I have your dog's side pipe here. Is that the lighter brown one?
Yes.
Robin? Yeah, well,
yes,
when I connect to his energy, there's like a real, almost like submissive sense about him. I feel really like he's a lot more gentle, a lot more calm than perhaps some of your other animals. And I also feel like, I don't know if there's some anxiety piece with him, some worry piece because it just feels like when I connect with him, I get a little bit of like butterfly in the stomach. So I don't know if he's always the one that's like following you around, like, what's happening, Mom, and what's going on, and just sort of like the worry wart a little bit. Does that make sense to you?
It does right now, yeah. And it's Side Pipe is a girl. She's got a very masculine name.
Okay.
But
right, yeah, I'm never good with that, but
that's okay.
yeah,
Energy doesn't have gender.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's just whatever I'm getting. So he, she, But yeah, I'm definitely feeling almost like I can see her almost like circling around you. It doesn't necessarily mean she's doing that, in real time, but it just feels like energetically almost like she wants to know what's going on. And I feel like she's almost like she'd be circling. I don't know if you were considering moving, or I know you said you have a lot of like sort of upheaval going on, but I can see her almost like circling the perimeter of the house, and I'm not sure what that is supposed to mean, but she's showing me like the perimeter of the house, that there's some piece about that. And it could be the interior perimeter as well, but I'm seeing just like a square, her going sort of around. So I don't know if that makes sense to you.
It totally does. And again, I don't know how much you want me to divulge yet. So, but you're
just sort of
dead
doing,
on.
like mini readings. I know they have a bunch of people they want me to connect with. So if you have like a specific question or that you want me to answer, you're welcome to ask me, or it's up to you. I think we're just doing little mini readings tonight. So.
Sure. So Side Pipe has been diagnosed with with limited time, and so she is a really gregarious little doggy usually, but she's definitely under the weather big time. And we've been going through a lot with vet appointments and stuff like that, and the perimeter. I think part of the reason why she's gotten so sick is the stress of protecting our property. And she does the perimeter of our entire property, freaking out on dogs. And I think that daily stress has, turned into an illness. And so, the questions just are that, how is she feeling as far as what we're doing to help her, and I don't know. I don't really know. I don't want to ask like how long she's going to last type of thing. I don't even know that I want to know that right now. But I just want to make sure that she knows that we're here for her and we're doing everything for her, and that we're doing the right things and how she's feeling. I don't know if you communicate with them or what.
Well, I sort of connect to their energy, and I sort of pick up. I mean, the way that for people that don't know how this works, it's not when I connect with people or animals, it's not like they say, "Hey, Mari, this is what's going on." It's not like that. It's more they communicate in feelings, images, pictures, symbols, and so it's sort of up to us, myself and the client, to sort of determine what it is they're trying to say. That it's not like they're having a one-on-one conversation with me like a person would. And even when spirit comes in, it's not like, they don't just come in and tell me their life story. It's very hard to make that energetic connection. So it's almost like a whisper. It's kind of like a whisper that touches your consciousness, and you have to sort of try to feel into that and interpret that. So that perimeter piece you were talking about makes a lot of sense. In terms of how she's feeling, I mean, and I don't know if you have been able to spend a lot of time with her just by herself, because I'm sort of feeling like that might be something that would be helpful to her, because I feel like anything that you could do that would be calming. And, I'm not a vet, I'm not a medical intuitive, so I don't prescribe or diagnose. But I think anything that you could even do, like flower essences is coming to mind. I don't know why, or a homeopathic type of remedies, anything you can do to sort of lower her anxiety a little bit, because when I connect to her, I feel like she's more worried about you guys. So I know that you're worried about her, but I feel like she's worried about you, and that's probably part of why she's running around and that whole perimeter piece. So it's like that's aggravating her illness. So if you were able to spend some time with her in a really calm environment, and maybe, again, I'm not the vet, but look into any type of like homeopathic, naturopathic remedies that might help calm her and ease her. I know they have, and I don't know anything about CBD oil, but I know some people have used that for their animals that is very calming as well. So I think anything like that would sort of help. Are you good? Good. Anything you can get that would help sort of lower that anxiety threshold for her, I feel will help her. And also talk to her. And I know you do talk to her, but even talk to her to the point like, listen, I understand that you're really worried about us, and you have to know that we're going to be okay. There's some piece about that she's worried that you guys are not going to be okay. So it's almost like she's trying to preload everything, like, I'm going to make sure everything's good, so if anything happens, then mom and dad are going to be okay. It's like, so she needs to hear from you that you guys, no matter what happens, are going to be okay, because I feel like that's sort of kicking up a lot of stuff for her. Does that make sense to you?
Totally, and I think that, I don't know if it could be accomplished in this conversation or if you can kind of refer us to what our next steps are, but as she gets better, if she gets better, my hope is that we can get her to stop stressing out about having to protect us that way and really be so aggressive when people walk by. I mean, she's not like that. Everybody loves her, but there's something about the fence and the boundary of that. She really has to protect us. And so I don't know if you can energetically communicate to her to chill out and she doesn't need to do that anymore, or if we need to talk to an actual pet communicator. But any suggestion you have would be appreciated.
Sure. I mean, I can definitely tell her, but I feel like what I tell people is what I do isn't magic. So whatever I can tell her, you can tell her as well. And if you wanted more information, you could certainly book an appointment with me, offline another time, and we could certainly go into those type of things more in depth. But it's sort of it would take a longer session to sort of take apart all those pieces, because it does feel like it's complicated in terms of why she's so concerned about everything. So, but I hope that a little bit has helped you, and definitely keep me posted on what's going on with her. You are very welcome.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Yes, I have your phone number, so I'll be in touch.
All right, that's great. Thank you, Robin.
Do you have any other animals you wanted to ask her about, Robin?
Oh, well, just really quickly. So Diesel, here they are, best buds, and they've been inseparable. He seems so oblivious, though. I figured that he would be really kind of clued in. We also don't want him to feel lonely as we're giving her so much extra attention, and so I didn't know if you could just do a quick check-in with him.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I connect with him, because his energy is so different, it's almost like, this sounds weird, but it's almost like he doesn't want to deal with it. And I don't mean that like in a negative way, but it's almost like when I connect to him, it almost feels like it's just too much for him. Like he's like, there's so much stuff going on that it just feels like in some way it's a little bit overwhelming for him. And it just feels like, he's the good boy and he wants to do everything right, but he just doesn't I don't know, when I connect to his energy, it's almost like I see like an outstretched hand, like keeping it away. I don't want to deal with that, kind of. Does that make sense to you? Because that's sort of how I'm feeling into him.
He's been very distant to her.
Yeah, and it's almost like, I feel like it's almost like with a person, that if somebody's really close and something happens to the other person, it's like he can't deal with it on some level. And I feel like they have some type of like soul connection, some type of soul bond, and it's like he can't really deal with it. So I feel like he's sort of distancing himself, and also in like an altruistic way to, sort of allow you guys to energetically fill that space and help her. So he's also trying to kind of not get in the way, in some way. So I feel like he's trying to help it in his own way, but I also feel like he just like it's almost like I can't catch my breath with this piece. I don't know why, but it's like he just can't. It's like too much for him. It's like too much. It's he's like, okay, you just deal with that.
Yeah.
A lot of pain. Well, not physical pain, but just it feels just like emotionally he doesn't want to. emotionally he doesn't want to be sort of caught up in all that and worried about that and worried about you. Like there's a lot of, like, it just feels like there's a lot of emotions within this piece and within your house in general. Like I feel like there's other stuff going on as well, and I feel like that he has a tendency to be an empath, but he doesn't really, like, it's too much for him. I just feel like I don't know why, but I can't catch my breath with him about this piece. So it's like so in order to like protect himself in some way, he's sort of keeping his distance and allowing you guys that time and, you know, that space to deal with side pipes.
Yeah, he's a sweet boy. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I hope that makes sense, but that's sort of what's the, you know, so I would definitely, you know, make sure, you know, and obviously time is limited for everybody, but to make sure he gets the special
wanted to add one thing to that I thought was very interesting. I thought when Mari said that side pipe, it was a lot about running around the perimeter, and that whole thing that you think is causing her so much stress is the fence. That is the perimeter. So that really she connected on there. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay.
I hope that helps, Robin.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
That
and if you want a longer reading, I'd be happy to, you know, go into my website, mediummari.com, and you can, on my calendar's there, and, you know, we can reconnect.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that all of your
You
animals?
are very welcome.
Is that all of your
That's it. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I appreciate it so much.
Now,
yes.
We also have, let's see, who here has the dog named Ziggy?
Doug and I do.
Okay,
I'm
you
Ellie.
go. You're next.
Okay,
you're next.
awesome.
Ellie.
Ziggy.
Yeah.
All right.
Ziggy's our pup. She's we've had her about 2.5 years now. She's a rescue and has a few anxieties, so we just are trying to figure out how we can help her through those.
Right. Okay. I'm flipping through my phone here. I see her. She's a big girl, huh?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, she is. I know. Very sweet.
Yes,
you know, when I connect to her, it's like I could see. It's like I know you said she was a rescue, which I was kind of feeling already. That I feel like there's so much worry with her. I mean, I don't know if you know what her backstory is, but I feel like I don't know where she came from, if it's from the South but there's some abuse piece I feel that she suffered from, and there's just like, you know, just feels like there's like a. Yeah, well, let me finish a little bit of my reading, and then you can tell me, because I don't want you to tell me too much. So yeah, just when I connect with her, it's almost like I go down kind of this little well of sorrow. I don't know a better way to put that, but it just feels like there's just like a lot of layers of sadness with her that I connect to. And I'm not sure, I can't even remember if you said how long you had her, but it just feels like it's going to take a really long time to undo some of that. I mean, and sometimes, you know, I'm a licensed therapist as well, and when people have traumatic issues, especially in early childhood, and the same thing with animals, sometimes it's really difficult to undo everything. I mean, obviously people make strides and grow, and it's the same thing with animals. But it feels like that, you know, there's some pieces of her trauma that are like really deep-rooted for her, and it just feels like it's going to take a while to sort of bring her out of her shell, because I can just feel like it's like she like wants to be the good girl, but it's almost like the human race let her down in a lot of different ways. And I know that she's with you now, and that you're providing a good home for her, and that it almost feels like you guys are doing everything. You're like, you know, they're showing me like juggling balls and just like trying to do everything to try to sort of help her and pick up her spirits and do all this stuff. But it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for her to trust you and to feel like that she can believe in people again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, so it just feels like there's a lot of, you know, there's the abuse piece and the trauma, and I just feel like she has been through a lot. So it's going to take her a little while to come back from that. So did you have a specific question about her, or?
not so much a specific question. It was just like if we really tried to make contact with her and try to make, trying to bring her into a better home and a better feeling about everything like that. It was just like sometimes it feels like it's never going to change, even though we're really trying to put it out there. And so, like you said, things take time. It's been Ellie said, it's been about 2.5 years. And so it's like sometimes it's overwhelming, when she goes to react to things and stuff. With her size is just one thing. It's with her, when she reacts to something, she goes 110. And it was just more like, also it was just trying to make sure that like we were doing something right for her. And you're saying that you're seeing that, we're juggling balls and trying to bring home, animals for her all the time and stuff. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, well, it feels like, like I said, it may feel like, and I could feel like your despair a little bit about all this, but I mean, for her, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. And I also feel like she had been passed around at some, like there have been multiple places that she had been as well. And I don't know if you have switched her food, but I'm connected to like some stomach issues for her. And again, I'm not a vet, I don't diagnose, but I feel like that there's some piece about that. So I don't know if you had switched her food recently or she was having some digestive issues with you guys, but it just feels like she has kind of a sensitive tummy. So I might recommend putting her on some type of, sensitive food, or even, having the vet take a look at her. Because it feels like she might be, in a little bit of discomfort as well. She just doesn't, almost feels like bloating and that type of feeling connected to her. But yeah, I just feel like in terms of the trust piece, I mean, that's like, it's like you're trying to undo all the damage that a bunch of other humans did to her, right? And I feel like that she as well is a super sensitive animal, and it's like she's had to put up with so much. And so it's going to really take her a while to, to be trusting again. And I can also see the reactive piece, because I just feel like she's super protective, right? She's just like, well, that's not going to happen to me again. Like I just feel like, like almost like she would have like a quick temper, like she would just like light up in an instant. And it's like you don't even know what you did, but it's something that triggered her from before. So it's almost like you're, paying the price of what other people did to her, which, of course, is no fault of your own. But it's, again, it feels very much like dealing with an abused child. Like it takes a while. It takes a while to try to earn that trust. And it's inches by inches. It's not steps by steps. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So
Mari, oh, sorry. This is Robin, and I know Ziggy, and I think the reason why I suggested that Doug and Ellie come in is because, she's got some of the dog aggressive, and she can even be aggressive with people issues, and here we've seen it manifest physically into side pipe, and so that's why I also was interested in getting your advice for Ziggy so that, we don't have more heartbreak because we don't understand the anxiety and daily stress they're going through.
Well,
right, of course.
What Mari said about her diet and her discomfort, like, it's kind of funny, like, the past couple of days, we haven't changed her food, but, like, she's gotten some snacks and stuff like that she normally wouldn't get, like some cheese and stuff, and, like, she's been going after grass. So, I mean, it was just, like, but, you're spot on with that. That was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, because I can just sort of feel like, I sort of feel it in my body and relate it into their body. So it just feels kind of like bloating and upset, and it just feels like I know she might like those snacks, like my cats, they like to eat a lot of things like my plants, but it doesn't mean it's good for them. So, it's probably, if you could find maybe a healthier alternative, better treats for her. And I also feel like if you're able to spend some time with her, and I know this sounds like so basic, but just really sort of quiet one-on-one time, or maybe both of you, Doug and Ellie, just sort of, I feel like just kind of bringing down the temperature. Not that your house is a crazy place, because it doesn't feel like it is, but even like playing, like classical music, or like I just really feel like she needs to feel like energetically, a sense of almost like a hug, like a big hug from the space that she's in. Make sure she has her special bed, which I'm sure she does, but she might need more than one. I feel like that she's talking to me, she would like to have another one in another location. So she would like to have 2 beds, she's saying. But she just needs to feel like there's like it's almost like when you have a baby and you put like a bumper around the crib so that whichever way the baby falls, it's not going to hit its head. It almost feels like that she needs that, and Ziggy needs to feel like that, and like not a bumper around your house, but you know what I mean? Like she needs to feel like that she's safe wherever she goes, and that everything is calm and quiet, because she is super reactive, because it's like if you had been abused, then, anytime somebody moved to like pick up their glass of water and you saw the arm coming, you'd be like, so it's almost like she has that startle piece with her. And she, and of course, if it doesn't get any better, you could also work with a dog trainer, but somebody that's really good with emotionally, physically abused dogs too.
Okay. Well, that helps a lot.
Good.
All right, does that
I'm
answer your
glad.
question about Ziggy?
Yeah, she's
Does that
a
answer your
very
question
sweet
about
girl.
Ziggy? Okay, good.
She really she really wants to be loved. So if you can, on the daily, like praise her, it's almost like, when she does something right, or she goes out, and she doesn't poop in the house, or, whatever it is, which finds her doing something good, you're like, that was really good. And I know it sounds crazy, and people are like, oh, why are you talking to animals that way? But they understand, they are souls just like we are. And if you're able to say, like, oh, that was really great, you did a really great job doing that, I'm really proud of you, it's just to kind of build her up a little bit, because her, her self-esteem and everything has been really destroyed. So anything that she does is just defensive. It's just trying to protect what little sense of self she has left,
Okay, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Keep me posted. Feel free to shoot me an email and let me know how she's doing.
Please. I think the next
welcome.
person, thank you. I think the next person that we have, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this lady. I nicknamed her my kitten in a box because she's so cute. So you're about to talk to a kitten that takes care of lizards.
Well,
go right ahead,
yeah.
Kelly, you're on.
So which picture is this? I'm looking at a lizard and a snake. Is that from who would this be from?
Oh, that's from me. I'm Kelly. I'm one of the co-hosts. And
oh, hi, Kelly.
Hi. Jumpy would be the lizard. He's a bearded dragon. He has, he started to show some signs of maybe getting older or health going down possibly, and I'm trying to help him. The snake had a scale that didn't shed right, and I've been working with him for in the second year for that to, I think it's finally healed correctly. Then I have a sugar glider that's on a medication for like the fluid around the heart and lungs, and I just rescued a squirrel that I'm rehabbing, and I am hoping to return to the wild, but I don't know if he can be. So if you have any insights on these guys, that would be great.
So you're like Dr. Doolittle over there. You have like the whole arc of all the animals over there.
Oh, you'd be surprised. I have specific.
No, that's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, so I mean, the picture that you sent me of the sugar glider is kind of hard to see, but
yeah, I'm sorry. She doesn't.
She was. No, it's okay. It's okay. But I can. But I'm looking at Jumpy. I love that name. Your bearded dragon, and yeah, I mean, when I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but when is it a boy? Jumpy is a boy.
Yeah, Jumpy is a boy. Okay. Sydney Sugar Glider's a girl.
Okay. Yeah, when I connect to Jumpy, I mean, it's funny. I feel like you know, it sounds silly, but it's like he's just like the old man on the mountain, you know. He's just feeling like he's just very chill, very like cool, and just like, you know, watching the world go by. And, you know, I don't know anything about lizards at all, but when I connect to him, I feel like, you know, that's sort of his vibe, his energetic vibe. But I also feel like there's a real intelligence about him. I feel like, you know, like if you left something out or you were playing with him, I almost feel like he might try to steal it and take it back to his cage, or he might, there's some piece about him that he might try to mess with you a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I just feel like that he could be, you know, when he's feeling a little bit better, because I do feel energetically like it's almost like I see their energy in like a gas tank type of situation. So I do feel like energetically he's a little bit lower. And again, not a vet. I can't make diagnoses or anything like that, but I do feel energetically he's a little bit lower. And if he hasn't been to the vet, I definitely recommend him seeing, you know, like a specialist in terms of just making sure that it's not, you know, that if it's just the natural aging process, that's one thing. But if there's other stuff going on, like, you know, getting blood work for him would be a good idea. But I do feel that, you know, sort of in his prime and when, you know, when he's feeling better, I do feel like he has that mischievous little side to him almost. Like, he like I said, he might try to steal something or mess with you. And there's some, yeah, it just feels like that he would. But it's not like in a bad teenage boy kind of way. It's almost like he has a real wisdom about him and he thinks it's entertaining. And so that's why he would try to do something like that, because it almost like it amuses him, you know. It's not like he's trying to be like a snarky kid, but it's almost like it's amusing to him, you know, because he has a real wisdom, there's a real intelligence with him, I can feel as well. And he's talking to me about he's talking to me about his cage or his, I don't know what, tank or whatever you have him in. Was there some issue with that? Because he was bringing that up to me. I don't know if there was something in there that he didn't like or you were changing it, but he was making me aware of that, the cage situation. You call it a cage, tank, or whatever you call it. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Recently, within the past couple weeks, I put new bulbs in there. I think maybe that would help him because they need the UV rays.
Oh, okay.
And I put expensive ones in there that are supposed to be better.
Yeah, well, because he was saying, you know, and again, I know nothing about lizards at all, but I don't know if it's like bothering him, if it's too bright, but there's some, you know, there's some issue with that. It's almost like that, it's like he liked it the way that it was, like, because it was feeling to me almost like a repair, that you were doing like a repair on it, but I'm not sure if he's happy with it the way that it is now. So what I'm thinking, I don't know how many bulbs you have in there, but you might want to alternate them, like an old one, a new one, old one, new one, because it almost feels like whatever is in there now is bothering him, because that's why he's making me aware of that environment, the cage, or I'm not sure, I know you don't call it a cage, but the glass enclosure or whatever that he would be in, because he's saying to me that it's not as comfortable as it was before.
Oh, that's interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because there's some piece about that was really interesting, and I don't know why, and I'm sure he eats all sorts of different things, but he's specifically showing me carrots. I don't know if you give him carrots, but he's showing me, you know, orange carrots. I don't know if that's one of his favorites or something you don't usually give him, but he's making me aware of that as well. And I don't know why he's making me aware of, like, I'm sorry?
Well, I wanted to jump in because this question is for everybody's benefit, but but you know, it was actually supposed to be something that Robin was going to ask, but I wanted to make sure it's for everybody's benefit. Do you think that stem cell research could be used in the future or even now for, say, a dog or a cat that may be going through some health problems, or an animal that might be getting older, or I'm trying to make it relevant to everybody here, but, you know, I was talking to Robin and everybody. Is that something that could be beneficial to everybody that you're talking to right now?
Sure. I mean, I don't know much about the whole science piece, but if it's all right for me to finish my reading on that I'm doing now, and then I could answer questions, because I sort of get into a flow, and it's difficult if I sort of like read the questions piece, and then we can get the reading piece.
I was just asking a question for everybody's
benefit. Jump in.
Yeah, Johnny, you should wait while she's in the flow. Let her finish with someone.
Yeah, exactly. What I was trying to say, so that I could sort of get back into that, he was making me aware of like a birthday. So I don't know if it was his birthday or someone else's birthday that was either coming up or recently that he's making me aware of. And I don't know why he's showing me a birthday cake, and so that's all I can only tell you what he tells me. And so that's usually my symbol for birthdays, anniversaries, some special event that he's making me aware of. I'm telling you, he's like, he's a really smart guy. He's telling, like, he notices everything that's going on. It's like almost like, I want to say, like, he's like the Yoda of the house, He's like
he is.
He's watching.
He is.
He's like the watching everything,
God.
And he knows what's going on, and he's just like, he's kind of, observing, but while he's doing that, he's also making assessments, like, well, this needs to be done over here, like, he has like ideas of how things should be running and what you should be doing, and so he's aware of birthdays and relationships with people and all that stuff. So there's like he has a whole lot to say. So I'll just tell you, I'll just leave.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so right, because when I'm doing things around in there, I used to call him Jealous Jumpy, because he always wanted to be out by himself with me, and so if I was paying attention to another one, there he would be looking right at me like, really, Mom, and doing head bobs at me like, you're not taking me out over here,
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure. I mean, and I know you have a lot of animals, but I'm sure, as much as you can be with him and have him be out, and because it's almost like he wants to be your sidekick, He wants to be like sort of the overseeing and with you all the time, and it's almost like, but he almost wants to, and it sounds really weird, but I can only give you what they're giving me. So it's almost like he wants to pass judgment on everything. Like, okay, well, this needs to change, and this is different, and you need to work on that, because he's just like, he's just almost like a regal, like, the regal wise old man, and he wants to just, put that out there to everybody. So that's what he's telling me. And, I think you're doing a great job taking care of him, and if you haven't gotten blood tests on him, I would. That's the only piece I want to add about that, but the rest of it, he's very, he definitely likes to be in the flow of things, and he likes to sort of be, I don't want to say a nosy Nancy, but like he's just sort of like in everything, and he has opinions on everything.
Oh, he does. Like, I'll ask, well, is this okay with you, Jumpy? And then he'll do a head bob, and I'm like, well, I guess you got an attitude on that one.
He understands. Yeah, 100%, because he understands. There's no doubt. So, and he's very smart. So,
wow.
He's very, very sweet boy. So, make sure I know you take good care of them all, but he's, take special care of him, because, when he really has a lot to say. He's very funny. He has a very funny sense of humor as well.
Oh, it's like he waits till the right moment to, like, react to something. Like, he totally knows what we're talking about. It's funny.
Oh, because he does, because people say that, but like they actually do. Like they're, they have souls just like we do, and personally, I believe in reincarnation, and and so he could have been reincarnated from who knows, somebody else in your past. So he's very much aware of everything, and anybody that says he's just a lizard or whatever, that would be very offensive to him, because he's much more. He is much more than that. Energetically, he is grand. If you could see me, I'm just like, he's very, his energy and his being is just very, very grand. So thank you for sharing him with me. I love him.
Thank you.
He's such a cool guy. You are very welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll definitely be checking out things at the vet too, so thank you.
Yeah, just to see if he's, because, just to make sure that it's a normal aging again, and it's not, like, it almost feels like his levels are down on something. And again, like, I'm not a medical doctor, but just to sort of check that out. And I know that he probably does not want to go to the vet, but just to, to err on the side of caution, I would say.
Yeah,
for sure.
he's one of them that doesn't travel in the car well because he sees things moving past the window and it freaks him out. So I'll have to keep him in something. Yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
I put him in like a crate and cover the crate, or even in some areas, and obviously I don't know where you are, but they even have vets that come to the house, or vet techs that will come to the house and take blood, so you don't even have to leave. So if you did a little research into that, you might be able to find someone that, depending upon where you live, of course, you might be able to find someone that does that as well, so that he wouldn't be stressed out. Because I can feel that not that any animal wants to go to the vet, but some are more, have bigger difficulties than others.
I have one I take to the vet. He trots right up to the vet like, "Hello, here I am. How are you?" And then it's like time to go. He hears the word home and he trots back over to me. Yeah, he wants to make sure he's greeted everybody. So, that was. Yeah, that's funny. They're different personalities.
Oh, absolutely, because they're just like people. It's like they're souls just like we are. So there's really no difference. I mean, at least not to me. So.
To me either, really.
Yeah. So that's lovely, and so thank you for sharing him with me, and I'm glad that was helpful to you. He's very, he definitely has your back. He definitely has your back for sure. He's just looking out over everything, just wanted to make sure that everything is okay. So.
Oh, good. Thank you. Good.
You're very welcome. You are very, very welcome. Oh, he's very cool. I like him.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I think that's probably the first bearded dragon that I've read, so.
Wow. I'm glad to have a first.
Is that all your animals? Animals, Kelly?
No, but we're okay, because I'm pretty sure the other ones are doing okay. I do wonder if the squirrel is going to be releasable, but time can tell with that. But do you know with a squirrel if I should release it in my yard when it's time, or like a nature preserve? Because I don't want a coyote to eat it.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, I don't know anything about that rehabbing piece. I mean, I would do a little bit of research or even contact like wildlife. And again, I don't know where you live. There are places that have like wildlife rehabbers, and that's what they do. A lot of the vet places or like big vet hospitals, they have wildlife rehabbers. I mean, I would feel like definitely release, because there's two ways to look at it. You can release him into a wooded area where he would be a lot safer, but I think a lot of times when you find squirrels, it's like they like to stay within within whatever area they fell out of the tree in, because like that's kind of their home area. So So I don't know exactly what the rules are, but I know at least in our state there's some kind of law that you're not allowed to move wildlife more than X number, more than a mile from where you found them, because it's like that was their kind of home territory, and then if you move them, they get confused, and so I don't know too much about that piece, but I mean I would definitely look into contacting a wildlife rehabber or just doing some research and see what they say about that, because it's a little bit out of my my scope of knowledge. But as I connect to the little guy, I feel like that he's very grateful that you're taking care of him, because I feel like for sure that he wouldn't have made it out there if you hadn't have stepped in. And I do feel like, did you found him on the ground, or because I feel like his mother or wherever his nest, that like I feel like his mother had passed, and that he didn't have anybody to take care of him. So I feel like I just feel like he's very, like, there's a lot of gratitude with him, but obviously he's still really scared. Like I feel like a lot of like, oh, what's happening to me? Coming from him, kind of.
Do you think he'll end up being too tame and end up being a pet, or that he won't heal well enough to go out?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. It's hard for me to tell what his injuries are. I mean, I feel like some of it is just a matter of maturity and getting stronger and all that. But I mean, I would also bring, if you feel like he's injured, then he should definitely go to the vet as well, because like I always tell people, if animals are sick, then they should go to their vet before they talk to their, animal communicator, because they would be able to give you more answers about their, about the physical piece of that. But, just emotionally, I just feel like, he's sort of in a little bit of a fragile place. And so he's just going to need a lot of work, in a lot of different varieties, like the physical piece, the emotional piece. So it just feels like he's very fragile at this point, and just sort of needs a lot of help. And, and I obviously sometimes I can do predictive work, but, nothing's set in stone, and everybody has, free choice and free will. So it's like, everything is sort of changeable according to that.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well,
right.
thank you. Yeah.
Well,
Hopefully,
you're
if I
welcome.
really,
I think
if I
the
release
next-
him in my backyard, hopefully he'll, come back and visit. But we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of times they do.
I
And
think,
I know people that have rehab squirrels, and that has definitely been the case.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Yeah,
I
and keep
think
me posted on all your
I
pets.
think
I always like to hear updates.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
I think the next person that's up is Barbara. I think she said that she had a question about her cat.
Yes, I do. Did you receive the text from me, Mari? I
did. I'm looking at a beautiful white and gray cat. That's Petal.
Petal Rose, yes.
Petal Rose. Oh, very sweet.
Isn't
Now
she
she's
sweet?
living?
Yes.
She is very sweet. Yeah, she's living. Okay, did you have a specific question about her? Or?
Yes, I wanted to know. It seems to be getting better what she's doing because of something going on with her, but does she have some kind of emotional problem?
Okay, hold on. I'm just writing this down. Petal. When I connect to her, it's like I'm trying to understand what she's saying, but it's like, was there like a loss in your home, or was there? And I'm not sure if you got her as a stray or from a shelter or something.
We did get her from a shelter.
Okay, but there's some piece about like a loss with her, because I'm just
feeling
like that she's like missing somebody, or there was somebody that was in her life before, and this could also be an animal as well. It doesn't just have to be a person. But I'm feeling like as I connect to her that there's like a loss, that there's a loss piece with her, that she's missing somebody.
Could it be?
And so is she
she
doing
is.
like? I know. Let me do my reading, and then you can give me feedback because I don't, so that I can sort of get in the zone a little bit. But is there like, has she been doing like a lot of fear-based activities type of thing? Because that's sort of what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like a lot of stuff that she's doing is based is like a fear thing with her.
Well, she pees on, like, she'll find a pile and pee on it, and it is when we. It's that, but it's gotten better. It really has gotten better, but still, we can't completely trust her in certain times. So I thought, this is emotional. I'm going to take her in, but still to make sure it's not a bladder infection. But it seems like sometimes it goes completely away, and then sometimes she'll just do it, and we don't know why. But it is, the thing she's missing, or do you want the feedback yet or not?
I try to get through as much of it as I can, and then I just sort of ask questions as needed. But the fear piece that I'm connecting with her, it's almost like, and I don't know if it's a fear of being left or it's tapping into all of that, when she was a stray, but it just feels like, obviously, you don't need to be a psychic to know that if she's peeing on things, that's like a, behavioral issue in terms of she's trying to get your attention, but it doesn't feel like that she's mad. It doesn't feel like that at all, because sometimes with the animals, they're upset at something, and then they will just do that to try to get your attention, but also to show you that they're mad. With her, I just feel like it's almost like, and for sure, when animals are peeing or doing anything strange, always take them to the vet, because you want to rule out anything like that, bladder infection, et cetera, because that's always important to take care of our animals' health. But with her, it just feels like, there's the loss piece, and then there's the fear piece, and I don't know why, but I'm just connecting, very strongly with her about sort of being afraid. And I don't know if it's about being afraid of being left or there's just something. It's just like it's almost like she's in a cycle. You know, it feels like, because she's showing me like a circular cycle. It's like something happens, and then she'll pee, and then you'll react, and then things will calm down for a while, and then she'll do it again. You know, so it feels sick. You know, like going in a cycle to me, like in a circle. And I feel like that makes sense to you.
It really does, yes.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, because and I'm talking to her, and it's just like I feel like that she really needs a lot of reassurance, because I don't know, with the loss piece, it's almost like she doesn't want to be left, and I don't know if you were away for a while, or it's like it feels like something triggered that for her, that something happened and it's almost reminded her, or it sort of brought up all those feelings of loss in her. And it made her sort of go back to that behavior, because I feel like she has done this before, not necessarily with you, but maybe in other situations. So this isn't necessarily something totally brand new with her. It's like this is like the only way that she knows how to communicate, in a sense. I mean, I feel like she's a super sweet girl. She really wants attention. She wants love, and she's like, it's almost like she's looking like, "Am I okay, Mom? Am I okay? Am I okay? Like, was this okay?" So there's that anxiety piece, but it's almost like when it's too much for her to deal with, then she'll pee. Does that make sense to you?
Well, but it really is the leaving. When we go on trips, or one person goes on a trip, she will. We can't even let her in. She'll pee on the bed, and it was getting really bad. And then it was also not when. That's how it really started, is trips, and then but the loss. This is what I think the loss is, which was a big deal, because this only started when we moved here. And I think the loss is her yard, because she had this big, beautiful yard. She loved every day to go in and out. She's at an apartment, and she really got upset about that, I think.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, because she was talking about loss, and it wasn't really, I couldn't feel if it was like didn't feel like a person, animal, but it definitely feels, and I don't know if you've considered doing this, but you can get her a harness. And of course, I don't know where you live, but if there's anywhere you could take her, that would be a little bit of green, and get her outside. I think obviously
kind of into the balcony and the plants. We fixed it up, but we tried the harness. I think because we got her when she was 6 months old, and you were right, I got her from the shelter. Then who knows what happened to her the first 6 months. She hates cages. Oh, she goes absolutely crazy, and I've had cats my whole life. This is the craziest one that hates them. She doesn't like to be left. Okay, so, but to get her, I bought a cat bag. It's a bag, and it makes things easier. So I'm going to try that to take her to the vet. But beforehand, I mean, since you are just here and I have a cat, and there was a little problem, I just thought, why not ask you? But it's so interesting, because you were like spot on about everything, except for the loss in our family. There's been no loss in our family, but who knows 6 months. We took her from her brother at 6 months old, but she's like 6 years old now. You'd think she would get over that.
Yeah, like I said,
probably
it could
over that.
I mean, the yard for sure, that can be a loss. But you said you also moved, so it's also like, and who knows? Because animals, and I have cats too. So cats are very perceptive, and I don't know if there was how long you lived in the other residence, but a lot of times they're connected with spirits in the other place as well.
Yes.
Like if you ever see them looking at something, and they're like, you're like, what is going on there? And so if you move, I mean, obviously spirit is everywhere, but certain places it's like their energetic residue is stronger than other places. Like I've talked to a zillion clients that have like, a dog, a spirit dog living in their house, and then they move. And so it almost feels like that she could be missing that piece of your house, like the house in general, and then also like her, her spirit friends, the yard. It just feels like there's a bunch of losses for her. But
that's true, because go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, because she knows, okay, it's just because I get like in a little roll. It's almost like, like a altered statey kind of, so I just try to get into the flow of things. Right. She's like, she doesn't want to be a bad girl. Like there's a whole piece about, I don't want to be a bad girl. Like I want you to love me, Mom. Like there's a whole it's almost like, I don't want to say she's like, PTSD, but it's almost like she has all this anxiety from, you know, from the trauma from before, and whatever, when your move happened, it kind of stirred a lot of that stuff up for her. But some cats are like, yeah, I'm going to pee on your bed and I don't care about it. But she's not like that. I mean, she's like, she feels bad about it, but it's almost like the only way that she can tell you, you know, the only way she can tell you, like, okay, things are not 100% right in my world, and, like, I kind of need some help. So that's what that whole piece is. It's the attention getting, but it's almost like, you know, she's doing it to get your attention so that you know that there's something wrong, but she doesn't want you to be mad at her. Does that make sense? There's like a duality there.
Yes, because she was looking at me. She knows when she's doing it. So I've been giving her treats since we moved. I started with the treats. And since I give her treats, I'm telling you, this has really stopped.
Yeah, well, because it's almost like she needs, you know what, it's, you know, and I don't know, it's like, it's for some reason like neuro-linguistic programming is coming into my mind, and I'm not even totally sure what that is, but it's almost like you have to rewire those pieces of her brain. It's like, okay, these bad things happened to you before, you had these losses, and like now this is what we're going to do to move forward, and with the treats, and also with her, like a lot of praise, and I know that you said that you travel, but there's any way for you to get like somebody that she loves as like a pet sitter that would stay with her, you know, because I feel like leaving her alone for periods of time would be very, very stressful for her and sort of kick up that cycle again for her. And also what I recommend to a lot of my clients that have similar issues is, you know, when you leave the house, you can say, okay, Petal, I just want you to know that I'm going to work now, and I'm going to be back at 5 o'clock, and everything's going to be fine, and so-and-so is going to come and check on you, and I promise, you know, when I, you know, maybe when you come home, have a treat by the door, but it's like tell them what's happening, because when you leave, they're like,
help.
Yeah,
like talking
absolutely.
To them.
Yeah,
wow,
for sure. You know, I mean, and like, because they understand you. You know, I mean, like I said, I have 3 cats, and I'll tell them, you know, one of my cats loves to knock everything off the table, and I'll be like, look, you know, you can't really do that. That's not cool. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I don't care. So, you know, so you can talk to them. It doesn't mean they're always going to listen to you, but they understand. And especially with a cat like her that's very anxious and worried and is like, you know, but it's like there's that piece with her that she really wants to be the good girl. You know, she wants to be the good girl. She wants that attention. So it's like, so the negative behavior she's doing, she's like, oh, I did it again. You know, so it's like she's almost beating herself up in, you know, with that behavior and feeling bad about it. And it's just a really negative cycle. So for you to be able to break that with the treats and for you to be able to figure that out, that is awesome, because it feels like that's helping her a lot. And if you can start, you know, if there's a way for you to get a sitter or something when you go, that would be awesome. And then also just talking to her. Like, it sounds like the simplest thing in the world, but just saying, okay, I'm going now, and I'm going to be back at X, and just so that they understand, they have some sense of time as to what's going to happen next, because otherwise they're like, they don't know if you're gone for 6 weeks or for an hour, you know?
That's true. Yes, that all makes sense. Plus, we had new member of the family come in, but she seemed to like that person and lay on them and everything. So I think it's the other things you said we were talking about. Spot on. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. Yeah, well, she's a really sweet girl. So just know that she's trying. And I know that obviously that you want things to be better as well. So I think by working together, she's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Did she answer your question, Barbara?
Oh, yes, so perfectly, and I learned a lot, and I never knew that, what Kelly has, the dragon beard.
Yeah, Jumpy. I love Jumpy.
Wow. That's amazing, and how smart they are.
Oh, thank you. I have 14 of them right now.
14? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw some, but I didn't know you had that many.
Yeah, thank you.
I sent you a picture of my sister's dog. Did you just get that, Sophia?
Let me look. Sophia.
Basically, it's my sister's dog. My sister's name is Kathy. It's just a simple question like, what's important to her, and what does she do that she hates the most? It's a real simple question. I'm doing this for her, so. You know.
Right. So the dog's name, the picture's a little blurry, I just have to say, but
it's
the
a
dog's
Chihuahua.
name is.
You know how they are.
It's a Chihuahua. Okay. And the dog's name is Sophia?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're just wondering what is bothering her, or?
Yeah, what did she hate the most? What does Cassie do that she hates the most?
Okay. No, it's funny because as I connect to that energy, it's like I feel very much that Sophia's like very protective, and she just like she wants to be the star of the show. So what she hates the most is her giving attention to anybody other than Sophia, because Sophia needs to have all the attention. So that's what I'm getting from her immediately. She's like, well, don't you understand that I'm the princess and there shouldn't be anybody else that you should be paying any attention to? So
okay,
that's what she's telling me.
You just hit it on the head. You just hit that on the head. You just hit that on the head.
Wow.
I was just curious. Now we have, we went a little over, but we have some more callers. Are you a little tired, or did you want to get another caller?
Yeah, we totally could. I mean, it'd be good maybe just to talk a little bit about what I do, and just sort of like. And I know you had that question for me that you wanted to talk about, so that would be good. And then I can maybe take a few more callers, and then I do have to run to take care of the rest.
Yeah,
of
what
the
I'll do is I'll put
house.
Now, what I'll do is, let me ask you this. Now, when you do, you said that you work with people a little bit.
Yeah, people and animals, both.
Okay. And I was just, when you work with people, like, I mean, are people different than animals?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, it's like, we're all souls, right? So whether it's an animal, a person, even a tree, the elementals, it's like we're all part of the collective consciousness. We're all part of energy. So when I work with people that have crossed over, so I work equally, probably 50% animals, 50% people in my practice.
Okay.
So I do a lot of mediumship work, which is connecting to souls that have crossed over. I do intuitive work and counseling, and since I am a therapist, my counseling background is definitely helpful in that way. Where if people have questions about their life or about, like their purpose in life or what they're meant to be doing or, just general, here and now type of questions. I work with that as well. And then I do also a lot of work with animals, and I do some of my work, which is, I limit it because it's very draining and difficult, is the missing animal work. I do some missing people, missing persons, and missing animal work as well. But yeah, connecting with them for me is the same. I mean, I know there's a lot of mediums that don't work with animals, but in my experience, it's kind of all the same because it's just souls. We're all souls, and I just sort of tap into that energetic piece of whether it's a person, an animal, or anything, and that's how they communicate, and it's my honor and privilege to be able to do this work, quite honestly. So.
All right. Well, let's see if we can take a call. Now, this person is coming from a blocked number, so let's see what this person is. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, thank you very much. I've been listening, and it's wonderful that you talk to animals. I'm a big animal lover. I have animals, and I have two of my beautiful princes passed away within a few months after my mom's death, and I want to see if you can be able to contact both of them. One of them, for 2 years, the last 2 years, all she did was cuss at me. I can hear her.
Okay, now you're talking about your dog, or
my dog.
Okay, and what is and like I was saying before, at the beginning of the show, is that I usually work off of pictures for animals, so it might be a little more of a challenge, but I could certainly try to. Now, your dog, and what's your dog's name?
My dog's name was Sasha, and then the other one was Maui.
Sasha and Maui.
Hawaii. Maui.
Oh, Maui. That's my favorite place on earth. Well, so far, anyway. Sasha and Maui. Okay. And what type of, and they both passed away?
Yes, and I want to get, they passed away last year, month ago, and I want to get puppies. So I want. Can you ask them if they're able to come back if I get new puppies?
So are you asking me if you get another puppy, will they be reincarnated into that puppy? I'm just trying to make sure I get the question right.
Yes, ma'am. Can you ask them can they come back? Are they able to reincarnate back again to me?
Sure. Now just tell me, since I'm not working with a picture here, what type of breed were these dogs?
Oh, they were Shih Tzu, full-blooded. One was the medium Shih Tzu, and then one was the large.
Yeah, because I'm seeing like these little fluff balls. Were they the little white fluff balls?
Yes, they were fluffy.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's what I was seeing. Just checking, making sure I don't have somebody else dropping in on me. So, so as I connect to that energy a little bit, it's sort of like what I'm getting from the both of them. It's like when and obviously reincarnation, that's everybody's personal belief. I personally believe in it. And I do believe that we come around in soul groups, and, you know, there are people that you travel with, people and animals that you travel with, and that you will come back again in another lifetime. But when I'm connecting to the energy of Sasha and Maui, what they're telling me is that when you see another puppy, you will know when it's one of them. And, you know, when the reincarnation piece happens, it's not like the exact copy of Sasha is inserted into another dog. You know what I mean? It's not exactly like that. And, you know, I'm not God, so I don't know everything. But from my limited human understanding, what she's telling me is saying that you will know when you see the dog when there's like a piece of her in there. It's like you'll see by the mannerisms and by the actions. You'll be like, oh, my God, that just reminds me exactly of Sasha. And then you'll know that that's the right puppy for you to get, because I'm just feeling like they don't want you to be alone. When I feel there's like a real lonely piece with this as well. I mean, of course, everybody's sad when they lose their animals, but it feels like these animals for you were like, I don't want to say your whole life, but they were a really big part of your life. And it feels like without them being here, it's like there's like a giant cavern of emptiness that, you know, that they really filled up for you. And that and for you, that's why you're asking about getting another puppy, because they don't want you to be lonely. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it's true. I love them very much.
Yeah, of course, and they, you know, and they loved you very much. Like I can see them like following you around the house. Like I just feel like they were like your little cheering section almost. You know, like I could just see them following you around the house and just like being a flurry of energy all the time, and just being like, you know, feed me, play with me, be with me, love me. You know, it just feels like they were, you know, like I don't know why, but they keep putting cheering section into my mind. So it's almost like in some way they were emotionally supporting you. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, so because I feel like that they, even though they were small in stature, I feel like they were big in heart, and that they really sort of, they lifted you up. And, you know, of course everybody is connected to their animals, but it really feels like they were able to be supportive to you and there for you in ways that humans specifically in your life right now were not able to be. Does that you understand that?
Yes.
Yeah, so because that's what it feels like. I can just feel like them almost like energetically lifting you up, that there's like a component to that as well. And, you know, they're showing me like one single red rose. Now, I don't know if that's something that you have near a memorial for them, but there's some piece about one single red rose that they are bringing to my attention. That's either it could be like the gravesite, or I don't know if you have like a little shrine, I want to say, to them with pictures and collars and all that. But there's a piece about a single red rose that they are bringing to my awareness. Do you understand what that is?
Yeah, that's a symbol of my mom that died. They died after my mom died.
Oh, okay. So your mom died first, and then the dogs passed as well?
Everything in 6 months.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's really hard. Yeah, because I feel like if they're coming in with the rose, it's almost like your mom's calling card to be like, hey, they're with me now. Because it just feels like that energetically that they're all together. And there's some piece with the candy cane as well. I don't know if that relates to Christmas or something, but they're also giving me the image of a candy cane. I don't know if it was a decoration or there was some piece about, I don't know if they passed around the Christmas time. But there's some piece, I don't know why they're showing me specifically the candy cane. That makes sense to you?
Yeah, they like Christmas.
That they like Christmas, and did you like dress them up in like little antlers or something, or because it's almost like they're showing me like little things. But I feel like the rose piece, just getting back to that, I feel like that's connected to your mom, because it just feels like that she wants you to know that she's with them. And I don't feel necessarily in this lifetime that she would have spent that much time with them. Is that correct?
True.
Yeah, so because I'm feeling like on Earth there would have been a distance, but of course when you cross over, it's all just about love anyway. So she just wants you to know that she has them with her, and that you don't need to worry about any of them, but they're together. Like all your loved ones are together, but specifically the puppies and your mom are together, and especially since they're tied in their passing so close on Earth, it's like they're also connected. They're also connected in the other world as well. And I think they just wanted you to know that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want my oldest sister. She would cuss at me a lot.
Oh, that's what you were saying, that she would swear at you, that she would grumble at you. Is that the yeah. I know. Well, it's funny because. Is that Sasha, the older one?
Yes. She was 22.
Okay.
She was Korean. And I always complain to her. She's from South Korea. I complained to her about North Korea. I don't think she liked that.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I can feel that she... Yeah, well, I feel like, because, like I said before, they're all souls. So they all have their own little personalities. They all have, my cats talk all the time. So... I'm not surprised about that. I feel like that she would have been like the sassier of the two. I feel like they were very, supportive of you, energetic, and close to you. But it does feel like that she would have had more of like a little sassy temper to her.
Yeah.
Like I can just feel like she was just like more like sarcastic, and I just feel like she would have, if you had done something she didn't like, she would have like given you the look. And you would have been like, uh-oh, I stepped in it now. So, yeah, I can definitely feel that about her. And, but she definitely, they're definitely all around you. There's some piece about, they're showing me like a teacup, and I don't know if you sit and have tea every day, or there's something about like something with tea, but they're making me aware of that when that's happening, that they are with you. Like they're like energetically, they're like, we're never going to leave you, Mom. So we're still in the house with you. We're still around you. Now, did you ever like carry them in did you ever take them outside in like a little basket or like a little bag or something? Because they're making me aware of something like that you would have carried them around or taken them outside, like not just on a leash, but like carried them in a bag or basket or some type of shoulder thing. And they're making me aware of that as well. It's like, they were like your children, But they want you to know there's some piece about, they're just showing me this teacup, that they are around you specifically. So it could be like a morning coffee tea ritual, but they are specifically around you they're around you all the time, but they're just making mention of that so that you know that they're with you. And if you are able, and I know this might be difficult for you, to sort of take that deep breath and sort of sit quietly in the silence, you'll be able to feel them near you. If you feel like a tiny breath of, air, or like a brushing next to your leg, like just know that that's them, because they're never going to leave you energetically. They're still very much with you, just the way they were when they were here on this earth. But, emotionally and energetically, they are still with you.
Thank you. That comforts me. I'm glad that they're in heaven, and they're with me back and forth.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. No, they're definitely on the other side with your mom, but they're still with you. So just know that they're, it's funny because they're showing me it's almost like a piece of broken pottery or something, but it's like if you find, I don't know if you recently found that something was knocked over in your house or something was broken, because they're showing me it looks almost like a piece of, like a pottery or a china or something that was broken. They're telling me that was them, that they did that, and they're mea culpa. They're saying, hey, that was us, and they just want you to know that was them because the spirit can come back and manipulate things energetically and in the physical here as well. So just keep a lookout. Let me know. You can shoot me an email, keep me posted. But there's something that's broken in your house, like a pottery or something, and they're saying
that was
we
last
did
week.
that. There was last week. Okay, well that was there. So they just want you to know that they're still there, causing trouble. So just like before.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, dear.
Thank you.
My pleasure. You're very welcome.
Now, do you want to take another caller or?
Well, what time is it now? 9:15. Did you want me to answer your question that you had before?
I think you did.
You had asked me a question before about the stem cells and everything. I wasn't sure if you were. Okay, I'm not sure what that was.
I think we were wondering whether or not stem cell research would help Robin's dog.
Oh, in terms of the illness or the right? Okay. I mean, again, I'm not a scientist, but I would think for sure. I mean, I'm a proponent of that anyway in humans. So I think for sure if they were able to do that for animals, absolutely. I mean, and I think anything that you can do. I mean, I'm big into natural medicine, alternative healing, and all that sort of thing. And even like Reiki. I don't know, Robin, if you've considered having Reiki done for side pipe, but I would consider, or if you even know what that is, I can backtrack and talk about that a little bit. But I would consider that it's a form of energy healing, and I think that might be helpful as well for her.
We had an appointment ready for her on Saturday, but she was so fragile this past weekend that we had to cancel it. But we're having new hope. We found a really good doctor today. I have had her on snake gallbladder, all kinds of Chinese herbs, cannabis oils, and she is really coming back to life. I mean, I actually took a video of her running today. She's wagging her tail again. She's smiling, but she's still dropped 2 pounds since Friday. And so even though we've got her eating well and, she's still dropping weight, but we've found a really creative doctor. And this doctor has worked with the holistic hippie guy I've been working with also. And so I think we've got the right team, and I think we're going to get a good 6 months or more out of her if everything goes accordingly, instead of thinking I'm losing her this week. So I will get back on the Reiki. And, as she gets her strength back up, I am definitely going to do the acupuncture and Reiki for her.
Yeah, for sure. And there are people, I mean, at least and again, I don't know what area you're in, but there are people that will come to your house. And there's also remote, I mean, I'm licensed in Reiki as well. I don't do a lot of it, but there are people that do remote Reiki. And I know there are people, at least in my area, that also will go to people's homes and do Reiki on animals. So, because you shouldn't have to take her, you know what I mean? Because I know that she's not, not in the best place. So I might look for somebody that would just come to your house, because it's like there's no point in because that's just going to add to her stress. So I think. And
Kelly, one of the co-hosts, she was kind enough to align my chakras the other night, and so she was able to do that over the phone. And so I think that'll benefit Side Pipe also. And it is crazy. I mean, I'm going with all this mystical stuff that I'm more of a logical person usually, and I'm really going out there. And I've had some crazy experiences. This morning I had green orbs come to me. I couldn't even pull myself away from her. I went and Googled it. What is that? And it says that it's the healing angel, Archangel Raphael or something. And just wild stuff has been happening. Miracles have been happening, small miracles. So I'm learning
100%.
Rapidly with this illness that I didn't even know about that angel. I looked up green orbs and I burst into tears.
We're all on a learning curve, so.
Yeah, really exciting. It's fascinating.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people find out what I do, and they think that I walk around with a crystal ball and I have like giant hoop earrings, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know what I mean, that movie stereotypical, and I'm just a normal person, so it's not. It's this type of work and metaphysical things and healing isn't just for like wacky, weird people. It's available for everybody. It's just a matter of being open to it and sort of being able to sit with it, and as opposed to like shutting it down and being like, no, that was just my imagination or whatever, which is, what a lot of people do because there's some fear there. It's being able to be open to it so that you're able to allow that to work with you. And so if you're starting to see things and connect to things, it just means that you're opening up. You're allowing your energy, your spirit to open up to, the other side. It's like, I always say to people and, quote unquote regular people, I'm like, okay, well, you're on the freeway and someone's staring at you from the next car and you feel it and you turn. Like, how did you know that? Like, was that a magical thing? Was it, just luck? It's like, no, it's because it's energy. It's energy. And energy's everywhere. Energy can, not be created or destroyed. And that's how we feel these things. And it's not, it's not cuckoo. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your brain. It's a matter of being able to extend your belief to things that you can't see. I mean, we're breathing air all the time. Can you see it? No, but I'm pretty sure you're breathing it. So it's just a matter of putting it out to those type of things. You know what I mean?
It's really fun, too.
Yeah, it is.
Did you say that you wanted to take another call, or did you say that you wanted to take another call, or are you...
Well, I think it's getting close to 9:30, so I probably, because I was only scheduled till 9, so I know that I have, to take care of some other things here. But no, it's okay. It's no problem. And I'd be happy to come back and we can do it another time. And I'd love to, if people are interested in, in booking a reading with me or an event or something, feel free to go to my website. It's mediummari.com, mediummari.com. And all my information is there, and I would love to connect with people. I'm sorry if we didn't get to everybody, but I'd be certainly happy to come back another time. We can book something. And
thank you
to everybody.
Okay, but I want to say something before we end the show. Barbara, we didn't get a chance to say Barbara fell, and I always say her GoFundMe page. She has a GoFundMe page on her Facebook, and she's trying to raise money because she fell. And I always try to mention that on every show, and I didn't get to mention that on the show. But it's something we do for Barbara. So for those of you who are friends with her on Facebook, just take the time and check it out. And any help that you give Barbara would be appreciated. Okay?
For more official.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Mari, you really, did such a great job. It helped us all. We learned a lot, and you were spot on.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And, I'm on Facebook as well. If people want to find me on Facebook, it's Medium Mari, Psychic Medium, and then I have my other page, my public figure page, which is Mari Cartagenova Medium. But if you go to my Medium Mari page, it should link to all those other pages. So feel free to friend me or like me or however that all works. But no, it was my pleasure. I'm so glad I was able to be of help to you guys and your fur babies. I mean, I do love working with the animals because they're super close to my heart, and they are special. They're just pure love, They really are just all about pure love.
Yeah, thank you. There's no ego in animals, so I love that.
That's right, 100%.
Well, thank you
and keep me posted, everybody. So.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Look forward to having you back.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mari.
Well,
thank you, John. Thank you, Kelly, Barbara, everybody.
Very well.